link as always. We have new faces today. We have already met with everyone privately yesterday. Yeah, I'm pasting the link on Telegram. Nice. Okay. But yeah, we'll be doing the public meetings with the bootcamp members now. So today we have Fernando and Godsppower. For the next ones, we'll also be joined by Akash and Mete. And also we're missing Martin Paolucci today. Yeah, in general, we'll probably be 8 people, but for today, we're 5. Okay, so I will go in the arbitrary order that I have here in this application. So we'll just do the regular stand-up, just telling what we were working on yesterday, if we are blocked by something, and if we're starting to work in something new, what we'll be doing today. God's power, do we want to go first?
Okay, good day everyone. Um, yesterday, so first off, I'm still blocked on the compute shuffle issue. Thomas suggested some changes I should make. I made them, but I don't quite get, like, it doesn't quite work yet. So what I want to do today is to break it down and compare with the Rust implementation, like, and see what values it returns, compare it against the test vectors I'm using, and then I think with that I would be able to solve it. So yeah, I'm still working on the compute shuffle, the shuffle issue.
Okay, that's a good strategy. I'm glad that you were able to use Thomas's suggestions. I will give the PR a quick look just to see if something just comes on top of my head, like something easy to see. But in the meantime, it's a very good strategy to to compare them to Rust. That should at least help you narrow down the error if there's a clear one. Uh, yeah, that's great. Thanks for the update, and thanks for the link, Thomas. Paul, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. Um, so today I've been mostly focusing on trying to unblock the process execution payload function because it's been standing for a little bit. It's very near completion, but we had the problem, as you remember, with the patch where we're generating the test with the macro, and unfortunately, the patch runs in the runtime, and so it was like breaking. Um, Considering we didn't, at least for now, remove the macros, and I don't know if it's something that we plan on doing in the future. I guess that patch won't be able to be run, at least in that way. So for now, my idea was to make a proposal of just adding an optional parameter to the process execution payload function, and it's just like if I pass this execution valid parameter, then the function will mock basically, um, and so normally it should do as if it was patch, just it's and yeah, it should work. Right.
Yeah, let's do something. That's a valid alternative. I have I will talk to you a bit in detail after the daily. There's a pattern called driver pattern that you may be able to use. That might be very useful for this in order for you not to need, sorry, too many words. So you won't need to pass it a parameter. You would like the function automatically will detect if it needs to use a mock or if it needs to use the original, like the actual engine API.
Okay.
um, it's just a cool elixir pattern that you can use for these kind of cases. But yeah, let's think after the daily. Thanks for taking that again. Sorry that we weren't able to make progress on enabling patch.
Yeah. Okay, great. Then let's connect after. So I've been doing forward on that. So now I'm just trying to make the test pass. Um, And other than that, I've been thinking a little bit with Mete and God's Power. We discussed a little bit where they were with their functions, and try, as I said yesterday, um, to fragment their functions that are pretty large, and try to open like new issues from their functions into like smaller ones, where we would implement first the helper functions, and then when we have all these helper functions implemented, we'll implement the larger functions, because some of these functions have like 10 functions inside them. So I've been starting to sync a little bit with the people that have taken some of these issues, to start like cutting down on the complexity of the larger functions. So yeah, trying to continue and finalize the, the division. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Let me know if you need any help with that. Okay, noted. Then we have Fernando.
Okay. I am about to finish the implementation of the process registry updates function. Uh, so far, all the tests are passing. I was able to figure out two issues. One related with a nested notation inside a loop, with the possibility of an early error using a reduced while. And the second one was related with a constant defined in the minimal configuration file. This constant is the mean per epoch churn limit. The value was set up to 2, but using the same value as the mainnet configuration file, which is 4, all the tests passed. I was looking for other consensus clients and found one that also uses that value as 4. And yeah, I only have left to do some refactoring regarding naming and code structure using some auxiliary functions. I will then push the pull request.
Awesome. That sounds great. Regarding the constants issue, I have my level of like I will check that after you push the PR, mostly because it should probably work with the two variants. It shouldn't be conditioned or hard coded to work with only one. You should be getting the configs from the chain spec module, and that way your module should automatically be prepared to take them from minimal or from mainnet regardless, because we can run the tests for minimal or mainnet, both of them. But it's great that you figured out that you can work them with mainnet, and if that's the case, then you can push them passing in mainnet, and then we can figure out if there's a way to change the code so that it works for both. Sorry, Thomas was about to give some input here.
Just to clarify, there are two kinds of constants. There are ones that are already defined in the spec, and the spec defines that they are just constants in the spec, and others that are chain specific, which are the presets and the config. It's fine to have the constants hard coded, but presets and config, yeah, should be loaded from the what we have from now, the chain spec.
Yep, but we can check that afterwards. Like when you upload the PR, we will give it a review and make sure that you're taking the constants from the right place.
Okay.
Nice, great update. I'm glad that you're unblocked. If you need something to work on after that, then you can let us know. But I figured that you still need to do some refactoring. So when you're ready to take on some new work, we have some ideas.
Okay, great.
Thank you very much for your update. Now it is Tomas's turn.
Yes. Well, yesterday I continued work on integrating the port into our code and removing the NIF. All the changes are already done. Now I'm mostly back fixing. I already pushed the draft PR yesterday. Um, yeah, I guess I'll be finished for today or on Monday at least.
That's great. Also, congratulations on the porting to ports. That's redundant, but that's a great and gigantic effort. So thank you very much for that. I've been like jumping to my update. I have been mostly reviewing your PRs yesterday because they were pretty big, and I had to get acquainted with some slightly lower level Go stuff like contexts. Um, but yeah, your PR actually helped me get into those topics. So thank you so much for that. And for my update, I finished reviewing those PRs. I started reading some more smaller PRs today, but I have already finished with most of them. So I'll immediately go back to the spec tests fix. I see that there's some private chat discussion here, so I think that we should actually move that discussion to Telegram. The discussion is related to how we should treat constants, just so that we make at least the general idea public. We have Thomas already said something about that, but we have three types of things. We have presets, we have the config, and then we have something else, which are the universal constants that should always be the same. For the universal constants, if we don't have one, which I think we don't, we should have a module with all of those constants, and that's it. So and we should hard code them. Like we should hard code them all once, and that's it. We shouldn't like hard code them in individual modules. Oh, I'm getting notified that we already have that module, which is great. So for every constant, we should be using that module. That's on the one hand. On the other hand, we have the presets, and all of the presets and the config should be available through the chain spec module. So we shouldn't like ever have a constant in like a module that's not either in the YAML or in the constants module. And if it's in the YAML, it shouldn't be in the constants module. There are two separate things. As I'm saying this out loud, I think that we should probably write this somewhere. Like the modules are probably already documented, but we should have that somewhere in the architecture documents. I think that's it. Does anybody have any questions about this? If we have like a longer discussion, we can set up a different meeting as well. But does anybody have like quick questions about this? Okay, I'll take the silence as a no. I think that we're finished for the daily today. Do we have any final comments or questions?
I think the driver pattern you talked about, I would love to learn about it. So maybe you can share documents or share links about it.
Yes, sure. Sorry, documents about what part?
You talked about, you say you want to show Paul about driver pattern using Elixir.
Oh, the driver pattern. Yeah. Of course, I will. I know it kind of by heart, but I will look for documents that talk about that, and I will send some sources. It's kind of a pattern, like as a higher level idea. The pattern basically lets you configure from what module you will be getting the implementation of an abstract module. And then you can have a different configuration in production and in tests, for instance. So in production, you use one module, and which in this case will be Paul's implementation of the engine API. But when we are in the tests, the config will tell us, hey, you actually need to use this other module, and that module would be a mocked version of the engine API. But I will definitely look for some sources. Thanks for the question. Anything else?
No.
Go ahead. Yeah, I was curious because I cannot build the project anymore. If I do make depths, I get a problem with Go 1.21. So it might, I don't know if it's potentially like my implementation, like my repo, or if it's just globally broken now on Go 121.
It seems it's globally broken. for now we can just comment the line that tries to install dependencies for the NIF. That should be enough. If not, I'll make a quick PR fixing it. But once we move to ports, that shouldn't be a problem anymore.
And then
How complex would be a fix for this? Because like we're just in the awkward
Yes.
moment when we are about to move to ports, but we will take a couple of days. And if we have someone that didn't install any dependencies yet, we cannot have the repo broken for them. So how difficult in terms of days would be to fix that?
Half an hour.
Definitely go fix that. Yeah. Thank you, Thomas. Yeah, that would be extremely useful because it's worth the detour. Like I think that the work on ports you're doing is more important, but if this unblocks everyone from installing these dependencies, then I prefer we focus on that, especially if it's not like a 5-day fix.
Yeah, and the last question I had was just there's the linter when you push an EPR or what, which I think is called Credo, and basically I'm getting errors related to my function being too complex with the cyclomatic complexity that is too high. I'm curious if you have advice on how to fix that, considering yeah, I mean that's the function implementation. I mean, like that's I'm following the spec, so I'm curious if there's a way to break down the cyclomatic complexity to make the linter pass.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the short version is let's make more functions and call them instead of having a lot of nested functions or whatever. But the longer version, we probably need to do some PR programming, and we can just jump in a call and see how we can fix that. But the general idea is, yeah, let's just build more functions, call them, make the call simpler and more readable. I wouldn't worry about the specs because we won't be going out of spec. Like we will still be respecting them. We just make some little aesthetic changes to change where things go, but we would still be respecting the specs 100%. We would just like make refactors so that it looks better, but we wouldn't be changing the behavior. So I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it is okay to place those extra functions in the same file, or maybe move to the other one, like MISC.
Oh yeah, I would encourage to have them in the same file. Like I highly discourage having like predicates or MISC files that are too general unless we need them everywhere. But if they are private functions used just by the functions in that module, I highly recommend having them there because it subtracts from your mind the overhead of needing to go to files all over the place just to find what your module does. The only situations in which I recommend like having like a module named common or something like that is when it's actually common functions that are used all over the place. If not, I generally disrecommend that. But that's a longer discussion probably, and we can go like case by case if we want to. Like if anyone has doubts of, hey, should I put this here or should I move it to a different module? Just throw it on Telegram and we can discuss there.
Okay.
Okay, I think that we are actually done now. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you all for joining, and see you all tomorrow. No, actually, tomorrow is Saturday. See you all on Monday.
Okay. Bye.